everyone. Welcome back, depending on if it's your first time here. So we're setting up a new painting, and as we can see, that would be Holmes, who's come in to inspect my workmanship and make sure I've set this all up correctly. And if he stands there long enough, hopefully, and there is Watson. He's like, yes, brother, we must check this out. Mother may not have set this up correctly. And if I stand over her painting for long enough, there's the good possibility I'll shed a couple of hairs, which is absolutely crucial in her creation process. Yes, brother, you are a giver. So many givers. Anyway, so today we're kind of going back to an oldie but a goodie. I really love what I call dry watercolor painting, which is essentially where I paint with, I breathe on the brush once. Oh, here, mother, let me help you with that. You're not doing it right, mother. Your stroke is not correct. Let me adjust that for you. The helpfulness, definitely at least a solid 8 out of 10. He's committed to the helpfulness. Anyway, so I did kind of wash my brush and then dried it. So it was very dry. Now, anyone who deals with watercolor, you know that unless you actually just let it air dry, it's not going to be dry. So there's always a whisper of moisture. But that's okay. I dried it very thoroughly on a paper towel. There's very little moisture. And when I'm going, the helpfulness is extreme. When I'm going out of frame, there's no water. I'm not introducing any water. I won't introduce even the barest hint of water during this entire painting until maybe later. I'm just picking up pigment, little bits of pigment on the end of my brush so that I call it burnishing, which is essentially just rubbing the pigment into the page. And I do it a multitude of ways. Listen, there's no water. All right. Water is evil and not your friend. It's just pigment straight on out of the tube. Because let's see, creamy tube pigment. Anyway, mother, let me help you further. Wait, mother, let me see the brush. The inspection. Yes, that does look to be the correct pigment there, mother. Thank you. Yeah. Listen, there's big standards around here. All right. I don't just get to pick up a brush and paint. No. There's inspections. There's rules. There's, the agents aren't just there because they're pretty. They have a job to do, and hell hath no fury like an agent who doesn't get to sniff your brush or teach you that your strokes are subpar. Mother, your strokes, subpar. Subpar, mother. Anyway, and a little cat foot. So I'll put the paint that I use in the description, so nobody has to be like, wait a minute, I don't know what color that was, because I also would not be able to tell you what color that was if I was watching somebody else's painting. Anyway, so yeah, just doing it on the diagonal, and kind of what I'm hoping to create, and we'll see if we get there, is a kind of a diagonal landscape, but in pinks, which I don't use a whole lot of pinks. It's not my go-to color, although I will say, when I was looking at my gallery website the other day, I was like, oh, there's a lot more pink than I thought there was. So maybe that's a lie. Maybe I do like pink. Listen, no offense, man. I'll do whatever I goddamn well want to. So, there's that. Anyway, I was thinking the other day, I was what are the, okay, so when you're a kid, obviously your parents teach you things most of the time. Your parents, your grandparents, somebody is teaching you, like, share your toys, don't bite other kids, like, don't lie, don't cheat, don't, all the things parents have to teach your kids. But I was like, what's like the core, like what are like the things that I learned on my own where I was like, yep, learned that lesson. And the first thing that I could think of was, I swear I'm going to get like some kind of a, like, this is the kind of channel she puts out. But, when I was a kid, I want to say like I was probably somewhere between 8 and 10. My grandmother, my good grandma, yes, I had a good grandma and a bad one. My good one, she was like absolutely amazing. And she was an amazing gardener. She was a florist. She could grow anything. And we were with her, like, and we'd gone to this like huge field which was a garden. And she was doing something. There were other people there. She was doing something. And I had to pee, okay? Which, like, I'm a kid. I grew up in the middle of, like, freaking Kansas. Not a big deal. Like, I've peed outside before. But we were far enough from civilization. We were far enough, like, there was no napkins in the glove box. There was nothing, right? And my sister, who was, like, 2.5 years older than me, she was like, you go find a place to pee. I'm going to go snag you, like, something to wipe with. And I was like, of course, it's my sister. She's got me. She's got my back. Now, I tell you that to tell you this, to then come back to that. So, if you grew up when we did, like, commercials, right? I knew that if I went in a home and they had Charmin toilet paper, they were living high. They were living high on the hog. If you had Charmin toilet paper and Tide, ooh, you were fancy. You are so fancy. I don't think we ever had Charmin, unless maybe it was on sale. And I don't think we ever had Tide, like maybe Era, which wasn't as fancy, or like some off-brand other than Era. Like, now I got Era haters coming for me. God damn it, Era's fancy too. But anyway. So, my sister comes to me, all right? And she has procured these very velvety soft, like, furry leaves, like silver little furry leaves, like little silver hairs on these, like, just velvety leaves. And I was like, oh, this must be the Charmin of the natural world. Like, this is nature's Charmin. And I remember being ever so grateful that my sister had procured these leaves for me, so grateful. And so I use those leaves, as one does when one is in a ditch peeing in a field. My gratitude lasted for a very limited amount of time. And I learned that nature does not make Charmin. That was really the lesson that I learned. If you've ever gotten peach fuzz on your face, or your skin, all those little silver hairs, which I thought were going to be so absolutely delightful. No, they weren't. They embedded they embedded in the Southland, okay? In an area where no one wants little silver hairs to be. And I remember, like, being like, ooh, something is definitely wrong. And spending my afternoon soaking in a tub of water, trying desperately to remove silver hairs. So, and I'll tell you, like, it was a lesson that was like I only had to learn that lesson once. It was not a lesson where I was like, oh, maybe I'll try this other furry leaf. No. Lesson learned. Got it. Furry leaves off the menu. Better to air dry. than to deal with that again. Yeah. Like, ooh, like that was a point. So, but I'm like, it's those lessons. Those are the lessons you need to teach your kids. Like, nature doesn't have Charmin, it just doesn't. It's a poor decision. Stay away from it. Lesson learned. Why is every story about something to do with the Southland? Anywho, Windler 531. By the way, Windler 531 is like saying like long story short. Don't ask. Don't ask. I'm Windler 531. Now, I should tell you this, like, my grandmother was, man, she was amazing. We grew up in the middle of Kansas, right? Farms, wheat, cattle, like, all those things. My grandmother, I'm pretty sure the, what is it? The limit of, prosecution has long passed, but she always had like two like big like 5-gallon buckets in the trunk of her I don't know, she always had like a Mercury or something, right? One of the big cars in her trunk. And if we were driving like in the country and we saw like someone had like disked or plowed their field and the wind had like swept the topsoil like towards the side, better believe that she had her, like she would pull over immediately and we'd be like trudging through a ditch with a bucket, like stealing dirt from farmers. You know what I mean? Like, and to be fair, I'm pretty sure they would have never gone to the side of their field and scooped that topsoil back onto it. But still, as a little kid, it felt like we were like doing something like, oh, we're being naughty with grandma. Anyway, so then she would like take this dirt that we stole with her, right? We're helping her in the commission of like a crime, and would take it back to her home, and she would put it in like these big, huge like enamel square tubs, and she would bake it. And I just remember like the smell of that like warm dirt. It was so fantastic. Like it was just like it was a really, really lovely core memory, I gotta say. Anyway, I know that she probably didn't know she was making core memories, but man, it was so much fun. I'm like, it was a simpler time, it was a time when you looked at people with Charmin and you were like, you're fancy. And speaking of, now that I know that YouTube videos and all these things, right? Instagram, TikTok, they all have ads, right? But I'm like, how will kids know? Like, which Charmin is the best Charmin? Or not Charmin, which toilet paper is the best but also which Charmin is the best Charmin? How will they know that, like, Tide? Oh, also Cascade. Not that, like, we had a dishwasher. Okay, my grandma had a dishwasher. She was fancy. And I think at times we might have had a dishwasher. But also, I think that, like we were the dishwashers. Like, there's no reason to invest in, like, dishwashers and Cascade when you have, like, the equivalent of, like, 2 human dishwashers. That will wash your dishes because you tell them to. So, there's always that. We wash dishes from, like, I don't know, like, you stand on a chair to reach the dishes. That's exactly how you know when you're old enough to wash dishes. Anyway, back to painting. So yeah, we're just, and like, we still haven't added any water. This is still all like pigment that's just being like brushed into submission. And I keep my strokes for like the first part, like very, very directional. Like it's all horizontal. I will occasionally throw in something a little circular if I'm really looking to like disrupt an area of pigment. But also, like at some point, I'm going to start brushing like in other ways as well. And it's, at first you think, oh, that's a very subtle thing to do, but it's also it's also not as subtle as you think. Just saying. Just saying. Anyway, I don't know why. I don't know why that makes, like, it, Oh, another inspection. Like, we've come up on another inspection. Like, how are you doing? By the way, when I say mother, I am not these criminals' mother. These agents of chaos mother. It's, the Amerlin seat. When if you're a Wheel of Time fan, it's not I gave birth to you. It's like, listen, Dune prophecy, the Amerlin seat, there's always a mother superior, mother something. That people maybe respect a little, but also do things behind the back of mother that mother would not approve of. I'm sure she wouldn't. Absolutely not. So yeah, we're just going in with, and see, now I'm doing like little circles because I really want to buff that pigment out. And so now I'm just attacking it. But again, there's no water has been added. This is watercolor without water. One of the things about watercolor is that when you're using watercolor with water, like you always have to wait for the painting to dry because everything is less vibrant the more water you use, which is why I really love dry watercolor painting, because essentially what you see is what you get. You can manipulate those colors in real time and you don't have to wait for the dry down to see like what moved, what shifted, what became duller pigment wise. And so, yeah, to each their own. Also, when you touch the paper, when you paint like this, it's been burnished. Like it's very smooth. Like all of the paper fibers are like, she means business, man. She ain't playing around. Like lay down and behave. So yeah, it's literally a lot of brushing. It's a lot of brushing. It's a lot of like trusting that your pigments are moving, even though you're not seeing a lot. But every time you're moving your brush, you're redistributing pigments and you're forcing them to lay flat on that surface. Okay, we got to go back to the Wheel of Time for just a minute. Actually, this is where I'm adding water. Hold on. So I'm taking that lid and I am, I'm putting a tiny amount of water in it. But even that, like I'm not dipping my brush in that water. I'm pouring the water out of that lid into my sludge jar. And then I'm just barely touching my brush to glass that was once wet. It's a very specific measurement style. And you'll see that, like, look at that. I mean, I know that maybe it's not translating as well for you as for me, but it like we breathed a tiny bit of moisture onto that brush. And like, it's really gonna help like move that pigment. Anywho, Wendler 531. So the Wheel of Time. I loved season 1 of the Wheel of Time. Okay. And I'm a little like, listen, I'll explain. So I loved season 1 of the Wheel of Time. Moraine Land. I was there. I was down. When season 1 ended, I was not yet ready to leave the world. Okay. Which it's very on brand for me. Okay. I get very immersed in things. And so I was like, hey, they're books. I hadn't read the books. I didn't know they were books, honestly. And so I'm not afraid of a deep read. And so I started reading the books. But and I get it. It's like 14, 15 books. The books got like waved around, or the TV series got waved like across the books. But there were a lot of changes. And rightfully so. You can't, like, it'd be very hard to take, 14, 15 books and make them into, like, a show. And so I think I got to, like, book 5, and then I was like, this is just a lot of, there's just a lot of backstory that maybe isn't as needed. Like, I wanted to follow the story that the television series. Not that the other story wasn't fine. It was. Don't come for me. But it was just like, it was a different story, right? In some pretty, like, vital ways. Anyway, so season 2 of Wheel of Time comes around. And of course I'm there. Like, I'm like, ooh, it's finally here. I hated season 2. I really hated season 2. I had a very visceral reaction to Moraine losing her powers and treating Lan like shit. I was not down for it. I watched season 2 and I was salty McGee. I was just very salty about the whole thing. And so when I saw that season 3 had popped up, like, I didn't go watch it. I just couldn't. I am like, of course I didn't know that, like, Moraine got her powers back or anything. I was like, this is shit. Anyway, I recently went back and, like, rewatched the entire thing. And now I'm salty because they've canceled it. So anyway, stop canceling shit. Like, Firefly, amazing show. Why did you cancel it? Wheel of Time, like, don't tease me. And then, like, leave me on the cusp. Now I gotta go read the books so that I know, like, how it's gonna end. And even then, I'm still gonna be salty because it's not the show ending. Okay, so here you can see I'm going horizontally, and you can see, if you're really paying attention, like, it's changing, like, the orientation of the paper fibers. Like, you can see it's moving that pigment. It's like, oh, a new direction. So I will go, like obviously I went vertically because that's how I wanted to start the painting, and then I'll go horizontally, and then, like, after I've gone horizontally for an amount of time that I decide is sufficient, then I'll actually go in circles, and I'll go circles clockwise. Oops, see, now I'm touching my paper to see how smooth it is. The good old finger touch. And then I'll go in circles, like, counterclockwise. Because I, like, listen, it all is a thing. I'll probably even do, like, vertical brush strokes. In fact, listen, no direction left behind. Okay? Like, we're, like, stroke it in every direction, people. I think that's the I think that's the lesson we're learning. Stroke it in every direction. Don't be afraid to stroke it in every direction. And back to vertical, or not vertical, back to horizontal. I like to end on a good horizontal stroke. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you're having a fabulous time. Words are hard. Anyway, appreciate you being here. If you feel like it, subscribe, smash the like button. It is more helpful than you know. And we'll show you the end of the painting and what it looks like up on the wall. Anyway, have a great day. Bye.